Hey, what's up, guys? So, let me see if I get a little closer to the mic here. Yeah, okay. So, this video is going to be about the very, very basics of FL Studio. So, clearly, I just opened up FL Studio. I've done nothing else. I'm going to move the mouse. And I'm going to go to Options. You go to Audio Settings. And what we're doing here is basically, if you have some drum kits you bought and you want to import them into FL Studio, this is how you do that. It's a one-time thing. You add them, and they're always there. I recommend storing them on an external drive, solid state drive preferably, and then adding them right through Options like I'm about to show you. So mine are set to the desktop just because I wanted to do this quickly. And as you see to my left where it says Music Sounds, that like right here, I already have my drum kits in here, but I'm just doing a demo for you guys. So what you're going to do, you go to File, you go down here, which says Folders. You're going to click on any one of these little folders, but obviously the first one that's available would suffice. You click that, and like I said, I have this set to my desktop. And Test Drum Kit, I found it. So this would be located wherever you have it stored. Could be on your external drive, could be on your desktop, could be on your Dropbox, could be on your Google Drive, wherever. You click it. We see there's a wave in there. It's just a little loop kit I made earlier. Hit open. And now we'll see that down here, it popped up. So now we hit this little X up here. And I already know it's 100 BPM. So right up here, I'm changing the tempo of the song. So I just adjusted the tempo of my song to 100. So I go down to the test drum kit, open it, and if you play it careful, I don't know how loud this may be. Now I press and hold, just left click, right? I drag it to I call it the canvas, okay? And we play. And now you got a drum kit. And I just right click to delete that right there. And I deleted that because technically I want to show you that. So, and right here, it's everything's stored right here that you load in. So this is my tag. This is the thing we just had. And clearly you can see that it's not on the 21 or on the 22. So it's slightly off. So we double click on it. And then we hit none, right click, hit none. Go to stretch. And then we just bring it back a bit. We'll see here. Disregard that. Just fuck it. Okay. So once you have your drum kits in there, now that I showed you, right? We're going to go to the channel rack, which is this right here. This. Now you have audio. And then you have all. The channel rack will have your 808, as you can see, very self-explanatory. So 808, kick, snare, clap. Now, I'll go to my music sounds. I'll go to drums. I'll go to decap because he makes some fire shit. And I'll go to a little hi-hat here. Pick a sound you like that. I'll add it right here. And I'll bring up the tempo right up here, the 120. So again, all I did, press and hold and drag. It's like dragging a file from one folder to another. It's very simple. Again, I'll do it again. There, and then you click it, and then you get this screen that pops up. That lets you control the sound. This is the sampler. Okay? Right here. Normally. See? And in other videos, we'll go more in depth with this stuff because this is more advanced. But typically, I go to this wrench tool and I hit cut if it's not already cut. Just hit cut to be sure. That way, it stops when the next note is triggered. And then you can right click on that sound and do a two-step. My song mode. So song mode will play what you have here in the canvas, and then pattern mode will play, what you have in a channel rack. So, right, I go to song mode, you see this start moving right here. Just play cursor. I go to pattern, plays a channel rack. So let's add another sound in here. Just for the see, I'm just clicking things in. And I go to find another sound. And to stop it, instead of going up here, I just hit the space bar. Right? And I go to a kick. Little, very, very simple. Right? And you see here that this is going to the mixer track because it shows 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? 17 is just my tag. Okay? So now I'm going to go to the mixer track, which is these little faders, sliders you see up here. It says view mixer. If you look to the left over here, it will show you what's going on, what you're hovered over, what it is. So if you don't know the name of it, you could look here. That way, it's a little hint area. It lets you know what's going on, okay? So, view mixer, you click that. And now this is where all your sounds are routed to. You control the volume. You could add EQ to equalize your sounds. You could add compression. You could add effects. This is where you make shit sound right. So insert 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's go back to the channel rack. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you can right click for a second. If you hear something wonky in a certain sound, you can right click over this green button over here and it will isolate that specific sound. Insert 1 happens to be the kick drum. And if you were just tripping and you didn't hear anything, just right click again and it brings everything back in. But you notice how that snare is hitting a little harder. It's going in the orange there. Just go to the snare here. Just bring it down a bit. And the channel volume here, because this is pre-mixer. So this is affecting the sound before it goes into the mixer. Now if we look, where is it? Here. See, now it's in the green. And then the channels you move here affect the volume after effects. So increasing, decreasing this will increase and reduce the effects you put on your track with it. You decrease it, it decreases. You increase it, it increases. I'm trying to keep this extremely, extremely basic just because I know some people will get overwhelmed really easy. So again, apologize if this is super, super basic for you, but I don't know what you don't know. And I'm just trying to make sure that it's easy and I'm approaching it from an area of a complete beginner. That's it. Now, say that snare, I want to EQ it up a bit. I already have something loaded up here, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to load something else up. So, I'm highlighted under Insert 4, and then you just go to the slot over here to the right. This is where your effects will be stored, as far as for that, your chain of effects for each specific sound, okay? So for this snare specifically, let me delete this EQ. So to do that, let me stop. To do that, you hit this little triangle and hit delete if you no longer want the effect. Now you go back in there, just click on that little sound, on that little triangle, and then you go to your effects, and you go, and now your screen is gonna look different than mine, okay? So I organize my stuff that way. It's by company. But again, your sounds will look different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load something up that I know you will have. And we're just going to go into, let's see here. This I don't really use it in this one. Let's go to categories real quick. So see how it changes. This is, yours will probably look a little more like this. So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to go into the parametric EQ. This is stock with your FL Studio. See, this is only reacting to the snare. It's not picking up on the kick. It's not picking up on the hi-hat. And if I move this, these are frequency bands. These are the upper frequencies, the mid, the low mid, and then the low, and then the sub. Okay? So you just mess around to your liking. I want to add a little top. Take some of the bottom off. Right. So see, that's all I did. It looks like I'm moving. It looks like I'm moving fast, but I didn't do much. I'm just moving the frequencies around. And I go back over here to my parametric EQ, and these little green buttons on the side here will enable it and disable the effect you just applied. So it's on. And if I wanted to hear what it was before I did that, I just left click there. And then with it, See, it made it a little bit brighter. It's very, very simple things I'm doing. So right there, and these are your faders. Bring up and down. And then if you just want to put it back to 0, you just right click and hit reset. And if you look further down, this is saying, hey, I have this sound going directly into the master channel, which, once you're done making your beat, will be an MP3 or a WAV file that you export. It will all go to this one channel, and it's all going to be embedded into one file. Now, with drums, typically you can make a drum bus. A drum bus we will talk about later, because for this video specifically, I just want to get you up and running, making a beat, right? So, again, insert 4, showing here that it's going into a master track. But hey, you know what? I'll just do it real quick here. I'll show you the drum bus on how to do that. So bear with me. It's very simple though. I'll say that. So what you want to do is deselect your desired sound from the master track. So now it's not going anywhere. You won't hear it because you haven't given it a place to go to. You haven't routed it. And if you look to my right, I have drums. I made a template. That's why I have this. So yours will probably just say insert 18 or something like that. You could put it on any insert you want. It doesn't matter. I just happen to choose that. So insert 4, I'm going to click on this little triangle. I want it to go to that drum. And bear with me, I have some effects here I don't want playing. So I just left click to bypass those. So now insert 4 is going through my drums. And the reason why you'd want something to go to a bus instead of directly on to the master is because maybe you want that specific set of sounds to be processed differently from your piano or guitar or other instrumentation. Maybe you just want your percussion to go to that drum bus, or maybe you just want your drums to go there, except maybe your 808 or your sub. And there you can add a little bit of distortion, or you can add a little bit of a filter to give it more of a dirty, grungy feel. But you don't want that on another sound. You just want to target that specific group. And that's how you do that. So I'll go with insert 3. Again, I left clicked on the master channel. We're selected on insert 3. And I'll go to the drum. And then I'll do the same thing with insert 2. And I'll do the same thing with insert 1. Now, if I just mute the drums, nothing will play. Now, if I click on drum bus, you'll see that the drum bus is routed to the master channel. So all those sounds are going through my drum, and then through the drum bus, it's going to the master. So on my effects rack over here, if I want to add, the parametric EQ, and I want to give it some body in the mid-range. See? You could, and it affects everything. But, again, left click, delete. If you just want that on a specific sound, you still have the ability to go to your insert 3, 4, wherever your drums are routed to, and just affect that specific sound. So parametric EQ. We still have that on here where we did those changes earlier. And that affects it individually. If you want something to be affected as a group, you route it to your drums, go under your drum bus, and you add some EQ, or you can add some compression that kind of makes everything sound a little more cohesive and well put together. That's what you do on your drum bus. All right. Now say we want to add a piano to this, right? So we're going to hit this little plus here, right? And I'm going to stick with something stock. That way you guys have it too. So we're just going to use FL keys. Okay. And then right up here, you can change between piano, grand piano, Rhodes, roto organ, right? So I'm just going to leave it on piano. And if you see here, it has like, it's just blank. It doesn't have a track. And let's just pick number 10. Okay, I don't know why. Let's just pick number 10. So all I did was hover over it, press and hold, and then move in an upwards position, because we're going upwards in numbers to a number that I want. So 10. And if we look in the background, it's highlighted moving between 9 and 10. See? Now we know that the piano is going to be under 10 here. And it's routed to the master. Now, we could do something, and all I did was right-click, piano roll, and this is where you create your melodies or get fancy with your hi-hats. Okay? So, let's maximize this screen. So we see here, I'll just do something very, very basic for the sake of this video, okay? Now we'll go to D. And see how there's no sound coming over here? That, my friends, is because we've only done 2 beats. So, to get that even further, now that we got something playing over here that we just entered, if we go back into the piano roll, see how it goes in 3? If I take this out, it would just loop. So, if we want that to go longer, we hit this little X. And you can just click over twice, because this is 4 bars. Okay? And then you just hit the fill 2-step, and then, just design your drums the way you like. Again, this is just basic stuff. See, now over here on the 3, you're not going to hear a kick. Now you can go in here and fine tune how you hear your instrumentation. And then we're going over here. Literally, we just copied what we have over here, but if we want to get a little fancier, see? Excuse the sound for a minute here. Neighbors. Okay. So, where were we? So, yeah, that's right. So I just made the drums in a 4-bar loop. 4-bar loop. Now, if I want to make this into an 8-bar loop, on a Mac I do Command B and it copies it over. Wait a second, incoming! Take over, guys! Take over! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god, this is breaking the focus! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Help me, please! We need backup. Okay, let me stop fucking around. Yeah. I ain't stopping the video for nothing. We're doing this. Alright. I'll play some music in the meantime. But see, I did an 8-bar loop here because typically that's what you want for hip hop or rap or just, you know. So I just did and there's no melody over there. So I go into the piano and all I'm doing here is hitting Command. I'm holding Command and then just dragging across to select my sounds. And then I'm holding Shift to duplicate it and drag it over. I think on PC, I think it's Option. I think it's Option on PC, but if you're on Mac, it's definitely Command. Hee. Right now, we're gonna do a for the sake of the video, we'll just leave it at the 4-bar. See? I had it there and I just drag it in. Piano roll. And just delete. That's, I believe on your guys', just, I'll bring it back in. Just right click and hover. And now you got a little pattern here. And this is where you can sequence things, right? Alright, I'll add my sound here. There we go. See? And then we can right click to delete them. And then over here where it says pattern 1. Shows here too. You can make a new pattern. Or you just keep your single pattern right up here. Okay. So pattern 1 is what we've been working on. So right click to delete that. Just from here, it only deletes it from this canvas. You're not deleting your sounds. So what I do is I right click on the pattern 1 and split by channel. This will create each individual sound so you can better sequence your track. So now if you right click on the green dot, now just your kick drum, now just your hi-hat, now just your snare, piano. So the reason why you want to do this is so you could sequence your track. So again, I just do command hold and drag, and I highlight everything and then I shift over. Okay, and then right click to delete. So say you just want to start with the piano. Right, very boring. And then we go in hard as fuck. Now we want to take out the hi-hat. This is where you sequence your track. And it tells you right up here how many seconds you're into your creation. So we're at about 24 seconds, 23 seconds of this beat. And then you just keep going over and add different variations. Now I took out the kick drum. Maybe I want that to come in just a little bit late, just a hair. Just like. And then it loops on its own. Say you got something you like, you're like, yo, this is fire. I want to export it and I want to listen to it. So what you do is you go over to the file, you go to export, MP3 just to save space, right? And then we go to an area where you want to save the file. This is completely up to you, okay? I'm saving this currently on my external drive. Tutorial test kit. Tutorial test. 120 BPM. That's what I like to do. I always like to put the BPM in my file name. That way it just, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I know what it is. It's just easier. So, and then I just hit save. And then here, the tail, you want to cut remainder. That way, at the end of it, there's no silence. It just stops. Yeah, just MP3. You can choose wave too. You can do wave and MP3 at the same time. For the sake of this, I'm just going to do MP3. And just leave things on down here. Enable insert effects. So again, when we put that parametric EQ, if you want the dry stems, you would disable this. Disable master effects. This will be on your master chain. You just disable all the effects so you just have a dry signal. But we are not going to do that, right? Because we just want to hear what we created. And you just hit start. Takes a couple of seconds, and then, for example, I'll show you. Done. Now say you got a banging ass beat and they're like, yo, send the stems, bro. I need the stems. You go to wave. Well, actually, hold on. Go to export. Yeah, you could do wave, yeah. And then we'll do. Why did I keep going into the spring reverb? Where is my test? Okay. Test. So you would, again, cut remainder. Leave it as is. 24-bit. Deselect insert effects. Deselect master effects. This insert effect one is really dependent on what the requests are. Sometimes you can leave this on. Basically, just ask them, do you want it with the insert effects or no insert effects? If it's a melody you created and you put reverb, delay, distortion, a phaser, anything like that, they might want you to leave that on there because they like the aesthetic you gave it. But if they want, say, dry stems for the B, disable it just by clicking on there. And to make sure you send them each individual file, this is the most important part. Hit split mixer tracks, because you're splitting one wave file into multiple sounds like you see in the background here. And you'll save this to a folder and then you send it off. So when they open it, they have the kick drum, they have the snare, they have the hi-hat, they have the piano, they have control over the sounds so they can better fit the artist or whatever they're working on. They can arrange things and they can mix things individually. Basically, a better result sometimes, depending on the person, right? But that's all you really do, guys. If you have any questions or comments, just leave a comment below and let me know what you struggle with. I'll try my best to keep it simple and try to really help you guys get started with what you want to do, because It's a lot of fun. It's soothing. Making music is supposed to be fun, so don't stress about it. Just have fun, you know? Other than that, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Peace. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe so I can feed the kids. I don't have kids. Peace.